sending me the link right now.
This episode of Auto Dealer Live is brought to you by TrueCar.
Turn on that radio and back here. The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, not tonight. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and listen to the music.
All right.
Holy crap, that's loud again.
It is loud again. We like it loud around here. What's up, gentlemen? What's up, ladies? This is Auto Dealer Live. I am Dave Villa.
Tommy Elwell in the place to be.
And the girls are on me because I'm down with Mike D. I'm down with Mike D because there ain't no hassle.
That doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, this is the Beastie Boys. You remember
That was the
Ladies
line?
in the White Castle.
Oh, okay.
Castle.
Okay. Yeah,
Hold it now. Hold it now. Hit it.
Hit it. Wow.
You don't remember that, man? That's
Hashtag Auto Dealer Live going old school today.
Hey, man, Curtis Snyder, I want to say congratulations.
I saw
His
that.
wife is in labor. And why are you tweeting, man?
He said, actually, his tweet said, when Jim Ziegler's on the phone, this is what you're doing when you're waiting for your wife to have a baby or something to that effect. So he's literally, Jim Ziegler, you are the reason that Curtis tuned in today from labor and delivery.
And also the reason that he is now going to be divorced. So his baby is being born in to an immediate divorced household because you should be like, why don't you have Twitter for dinner tomorrow and the next week? You know, why don't you sleep down in the bed next to Twitter? I mean,
it's like, oh yeah, while I'm sitting here squeezing out your kid,
yeah,
maybe you can pay attention
tweet
to me
that.
5 minutes. Yeah, you jerk.
Yeah. Tweet this.
I don't think that would go over well with my wife either.
No. Like, hey, baby,
But
why don't you pose for this selfie right here so I can tweet it out?
This is the picture right before I killed him.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I appreciate the commitment personally.
Yeah, man. It's totally committed, Curtis. We thank you. We, on the other hand, thank you.
Yeah, and let me also, if you hear anything about that beard, oil sponsorship, shoot a brother a quick text. Give me my bobblehead. Arnold. The bobbleheads are finite, buddy. There's no more bobbleheads for you. You have two. How many does he have? He has a couple. We sent him, right?
I don't know. I don't know what he wants.
I don't even have a bobblehead, Arnold. You're not going to get one. Calm down, bro. Just relax. Everything's going to be fine, man.
Everything's going to be all right. Hey, it's going to be a great show today, man. We have Tower Talk, and it's a show that I've looked forward to for quite a long time because we've had some guests scheduled here for a while. We added a couple of guests that we have been trying to get to come on as part of this. But we have Joe Lyons, the COO of Thompson Automotive Group up in Maryland, and Joe has been there for a while. He was a general manager of a couple of the stores, and within the last year became the chief operating officer of the Thompson Automotive Group. They have a couple of CDJ stores, a Mazda store, Hyundai store, and Joe is a great car guy. Known Joe personally for several years, and this guy is phenomenal. And so Joe is going to be with us today for the first time. We try to get him on the show, and he's just extremely busy and doesn't do this, so it's a rare treat to have Joe on Tower Talk. We also have Mike Palmer. He and Jim Haith, they're actually clients of ours as well, but they're in the top 10, I think, as high as number 5 or 6 in the nation.
I heard 6.
Huh?
I heard 6.
Number 6, South Point Hyundai in Austin, Texas. These guys are freaking beasts, man. I mean, they are literally moving iron. And so these guys are incredibly strong. Mike Palmer, the general sales manager from South Point Hyundai, is going to be with us today. We have the president of Alpha Dog, professional speaker, trainer extraordinaire, Jim Ziegler, with us. I mean, he's a general in the industry. We have one of my friends, somebody that's my personal favorite. He's been on the show multiple times. He's a contributor of the show. He also writes in our magazine. He's a general sales manager of Mark Chrysler Dodge Jeep. That's Marsh Bice, and Marsh is a crowd favorite here. And we also have Chris Bennett, general manager and automotive professional and specialist, also part of a dealer family. I know they have Bennett Toyota Kia store
store,
up
yeah.
in what part of PA?
I think it's the Allentown area.
Allentown, yeah. So they're up close to like Easton and that area. So Chris has been in the car business for a while as well. Grew up in the car business, has a lot to say. So we're very excited about today's show. You should be as well because it's Tower Talk.
It's where you talk at the tower. There's probably going to be some shenanigans too, if I had to guess. I've never been at a dealership, but if I had to take a stab at
You
it.
never been in a
No, I've never worked at a
into
dealership. Once.
Yeah.
And I think if they...
Now he buys his cars online. I'm just kidding.
I do, maybe you heard of something called Carvana. Have you familiar with that? I'm just kidding.
I'm going to pimp slap
I only-
Mike. I've been trying to keep my Kiki away from
Hello?
me here. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm just talking to myself.
No, actually, I
and
was going
Ezra.
to tell Eddie Ezra, my ears are a little loud. Can you turn it down a tad?
Mine are
buddy?
good, man. I like mine loud. 'Cause I'm freaking deaf.
I didn't sit next to Metallica's stage, front stage.
I did.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. It's a little worse, but it's okay. It's fine. What I was gonna say is, it's a little worse. It was better than. It's fine. It's fine.
So what were you saying, man?
I said there's probably some shenanigans that go down the towers. You know what I mean? Like, once
there is.
they're probably making fun of some people. You know what I mean? Hey, that sales guy. You see his you see his gut today. Look how sloppy that jerk is. Or something. I don't know what. Maybe that's here we do that. Similar to that.
Yeah, and we're going to jump right into the Tower Talk here in just a second. But I got a quick story that just kind of popped up in my mind. I mean, I've been selling to dealerships now for 21 years, and I'm 43. So when I started, I was 22, dropped out of school, and my wife and I were married very young, and went the whole like non-advised route. But anyway, here I am, 22, 23 years old, wet behind the ear, nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, and I'm calling on 50-year-old, at that time, 40 grand a month, GMs and desk managers. And I walk up into a store. I'm not going to say the name of the store because the guy is still there. Here's what's crazy. I recently found out the guy 15, 17 years later, the guy's still there. Okay. And he's not the GM anymore. He's like a salesman or sales manager. I'm not sure if he's semi-retired. Long story short, the guy's anyway, he's up in the tower. Here I go calling on him, right? And I walk in. He has this intimidating factor where he's going to stand in this like 10-foot tower. And Jim Ziegler appreciate this. He's going to make me pitch him from the freaking tower, right? I walk up. I have an appointment with blank. Usually I'm blank, and he's looking down at me. I'm looking up like this. Now I'm even nervous, right? And I'm looking up to him, and I'm like, all right. He goes, I said, well, I got an appointment. You want to go ahead into an office? He goes, no, go ahead. Let's do it right here. So here I am staring up at this freaking tower, pitching this guy, right? And I'm just jacking it up. I mean, left and right and blah, blah, blah. When this guy gets done, right, he walks out from behind the tower, and he's like 4'2". I'm like, I will punch you across the freaking showroom.
Ain't no way, ain't no how.
Listen,
he was like the guy at the gate.
He looked like Danny DeVito's brother. I mean, he walked in, or as Jim would say, Sean V. Bradley's brother. I don't know, but he walked out. He was 4'2", and I'm like, dude, I will punch you across.
Listen, Lord Farquaad, let's get this thing going.
Yeah, man.
You jerk.
So that's my experience, my first experience with a tower. But we're gonna have Tower Talk today, buddy.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited too. You got some good people. Jim Ziegler's always a fun guest to have on. He's always a funny guy.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it. What are you saying, Mike?
I can't hear a dang thing in these
These
freaking
ears
ears.
are
Man.
great.
They're great. These are like better than like freaking earmuffs. You know what I mean? Like if you don't want to hear anything, put these things in because I can't hear
there could be a
jack.
jet engine going on right behind me. I would have no clue of it until the wind hit me.
I was
Somebody
just
like,
letting
hey,
you guys
duck,
know.
someone just
Oh,
shot.
there he is. He's talking. What?
I was just letting you guys know we need to cut the commercial.
Yes, we do. That's what I was getting
good
ready to do
idea,
there, buddy.
Mike.
I've only been doing
Thanks.
this show for 4 years.
Yeah, I've been doing it for like 6.5 minutes, so I had no idea. So I'm glad he knew.
Next up.
Who is the next up, David Villa?
The next up is the Tower Talk panel. Right after this break, don't go anywhere because we
Delicious.
have an amazing all-star cast panel extraordinaires coming up.
Bring
Here we
it
go.
on.
We'll be right back.
With rising competition and shrinking profit margins, you need every resource available to help you succeed. TrueCar has the ability to be the most powerful tool in your arsenal.
Go with the pros who know. Your dealership wouldn't trust its vehicles in the hands of an uncertified technician. So why trust its finances with accounting firms that don't know your business? Rosenfeld & Company knows the automotive industry and has been serving dealerships like yours for over 20 years. We take pride in helping our clients grow from single-point stores to some of the largest dealer groups in the country. We are more than just your accountants. Our team can guide you through mergers and acquisitions, operational reviews, succession planning, and more. Visit us on the web for more information at www.rosenfieldandco.com.
Jason Rice from Lot Pop, and let me tell you what we do to help dealerships increase used car sales 20 to 30% in gross in volume. 3 areas we focus on: trend reports. We look at weekly trends that no one else is trending to make adjustments on our inventory. 2 is we do weekly review calls to review those trends, but also we dig through every car that needs to be price adjusted to increase the searches. And 3, we do a virtual lot walk, make sure every car is standing tall in line, and make sure we don't have bad photos like these. Check out our website, lotpop.com. our blog at automotiverevolution.com, and our weekly video tips at increaseturn.com. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Alan Ram, president and founder of Alan Ram's Proactive Training Solutions. Let's face it, good managers are defined not by what they do when they have a showroom full of customers, but more by what they do when there are no customers in the showroom. In 2015, whether you like it or not, the car business is all about conversion of opportunities and driving traffic. All those great closers and desk people are not doing you a whole lot of good if your dealership is not converting effectively on the telephone and internet. As an owner or dealer, when you see 5 salespeople standing by the front door doing nothing, don't kid yourself. Your dealership is not being effectively managed. Management by Fire is a 2.5-day intensive course conducted entirely by me that teaches managers how to effectively manage in today's automotive industry. Simple processes for driving high-quality traffic. For more information on upcoming events, please call my team at 866-996-4665. Once again, 866-996-4665. Thank you.
Service Group has over 40 years of experience empowering dealerships to grow profits, develop personnel, and provide their customers with a high level of service. We offer high-quality products, world-class servicing, and innovative training and technology. Meet our team: first-class trainers, the best account managers, and an executive team that's second to none.
This is your Service Group team. We look forward to giving your people the power to perform.
I'm excited about the future of TrueCar, and I hope you are too. As we evolve our product and service, we'll keep listening to dealers and making even more enhancements based on your ongoing feedback.
Peeps, welcome back, peeps. How you been? Hope you enjoyed the commercials. We're back. The next up here on Auto Dealer Live today on this Tower Talk event, we got an all-star panel. Dave Villa alluded to this a few minutes ago. Maybe you heard him. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're just tuning in now for the first time. If you are just tuning in for the first time, what I'd like you to do is hashtag Auto Dealer Live and get involved some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
We're on Facebook too. Facebook Live. I want to thank people watching us on Facebook Live. Thanks those who are watching us on autotainmentnetwork.com and also on our site, autodealerlive.net. If you're listening on Blog Talk Radio or you're catching this on iTunes or Stitcher later on, we want to thank you guys.
We're everywhere like air.
Yes.
We're everywhere. So you can catch us. So let's get right into the panel, ladies and gents. We have from Mark Dodge in Louisiana.
Lake Charles, baby.
Lake Charles, Louisiana. We have General Sales Manager Marsh Bice with us. We have GSM of Liberty Toyota, formerly Liberty Toyota.
I don't know why that's there.
I don't know why it's there either. We get bad intel. Sorry, Chris. Chris Bennett's with us today. Mr. Alpha Dog himself. There he is, #1 style. Jim Ziegler's with us today. Speaker, trainer, awesome car guy extraordinaire. Joe Lyons, Director of Operations and CEO of Thompson Automotive, is with us. Joe, good to see you, buddy. Mike Palmer, Sales Manager at South Point Hyundai in, is that Tejas?
Austin.
What kind of Tejas? What part of Tejas?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Tejas. Mike, thanks for joining us. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
Just fine, thanks. Great. Incredible.
Awesome.
Best day
Hey,
of my life. Best day of my life.
is today's the best day of your life, Jim?
I'm anticipating a better day tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome. See, that's the perpetual optimist. I love it. Well, hey, Marsh, how you doing, bro?
Wonderful, man. How about you?
All is well, my friend. All is well. I want to get started with you. Now, you're a writer. You're a contributor. You're an author. You're pretty much all over the map, and you're general sales manager of a successful dealership. We're just going to jump into you because I know you may have some other things going on at the dealership, and we wanted to hit you up first and get your input. But man, let me tell you. Let's get the conversation started in this respect. What makes a guy like yourself tick? Keep going. Obviously, the car business and what you do day to day is plenty, but you're also contributing in other areas. What makes Marsh? What motivates him in this business? Why do you love the business so much, sir?
Well, this is a business that you can't master. It's impossible. And what intrigues me about this business is it's so parallel to life. And because one minute everything's going well, and then the next minute the whole tables turn out from underneath you, and you've lost it all. But the beautiful thing about this business, because it's much like life, is you have the grace in this business to start over. Anytime, there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling to how high you can go. And so that's what intrigues me about this business, is trying to figure out people. It's being able to motivate people, and it's also being able to improve myself where nobody stops me but me.
That's good, man.
That's real good.
And Marsh, I know that you ride a lot, and you train a lot, and you're a car guy, and you bleed the car business, and you're real big on leadership, and we're going to get into that a little bit as well. What we're talking about today, too, guys, in a nutshell, is what makes the good or the great dealerships, car people, what makes them good and great. And because we have it all over the spectrum. We have those that are kind of at a place where maybe they're being recognized as top 10 dealers. We have some that are on the way. We have some that literally are building people. And I think that, one of my favorite quotes somebody said in leadership is, sometimes the fruit of leadership grows on other people's trees. So sometimes you never know. I was watching Bobby Knight, recently when he was talking to Donald Trump. Maybe some of you guys saw that. And one of the things that he doesn't get credit for enough is the fact that he has built great people that are also coaching. So, Joe, let me ask you this, man. You've been doing this a while, and congratulations, by the way, Joe Lyons, on the promotion within the last year. Now you're running several stores. Not just as GM, but you're in the you're still there in the car dealerships on a day-to-day basis. But you're the COO of a dealer group. What do you see, man? How do you lead in this business? And let me say it this way: what do people in the car business need to grab a hold of, in your opinion, to really help move this thing forward in 2016, like you guys are doing there at Thompson?
Well, I'd say there's no other business like the car business. People try to compare what we do to a lot of other industries, but where do you get to interact with so many people on a constant basis and try to continue to better yourselves day in and day out? Like Marsh just said, you kind of hold yourself accountable personally too, because it affects your personal life and all the rewards you get on your personal life. But I look at running these stores like just a simple crew team. You get everybody's oars in the water at the same time, and everybody rowing in the same direction, at the same time. The sky is the limit, and I love that part of it. I love the people part of it. I love interacting with folks, and I am a true believer of, do as I do, not do as I say. And if they see me doing things, then they will do things as well. And creating that team atmosphere from front to back, like I started in this business as a service advisor, and here I am today. Who would have thunk it? But I love this thing, and you need to embrace it to keep going. I mean, the business is evolving. The manufacturers like to change things up on a continual basis. You have to be able to adapt and run and hit the ground running. And just like Marsh also said, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, we were unfortunately the victim of earlier this month of a straight line wind shear, they call it, at our largest store, and we had 200 vehicles got taken out. So that's been a nice task for April. But getting everybody rowing in the same direction, that's what I find intriguing. And it's not as hard as it sounds, but it's communication.
And I want to go to Mike here because and all you guys get a chance to weigh in on this. But Mike Palmer, GSM of South Point Hyundai. Mike, we want to make sure we get it right. I know you guys are in the top 10. How high have you guys been? How high have you guys been in the U.S. in the last year? What's your best mark so far?
We hit number 7.
Number 7.
That was our highest. We have been back and forth. Typically, we've been between Ron Carter and El Paso. However, 3 out of the past 4 months, we have actually, been number 1 in Texas. So we've been climbing steadily, and I've been here for about 3 years. I originally came over from Boston, so it's great to be over here. I love it. I mean, there's a ton of people moving here every day. Opportunity is wide open.
You're a Red Sox fan?
I am.
Well, you're used to winning. I mean, I'm not a Red Sox fan, but I know they win, and so they have a history of winning. But let me ask you this, man, because here's the deal: there's several thousand, a couple thousand, at least 3,000 Hyundai stores in the U.S. How many are we up to? A couple thousand?
In the U.S., no, there's about 860.
I'm close. I'm only
going off by 3 times as much as good job.
So almost 900.
In percentages, you're pretty good.
Yeah, that was that's the way salespeople normally are, right? We're exaggerating. Let me throw this out. Let me ask you this question, because I mean this is something I think that it happens with leadership. I know Jim Haith real well, he was so kind to let us steal you for a little bit here, because I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be selling some cars during this.
Yeah.
But you guys,
yeah.
Well, let's just say this: you got about 800 Hyundai stores, okay, that are looking at your butt, and they're going, "Hey, what's this guy doing? What is his team doing?" You've been there 3 years. I mean, what makes it different? It's not just a good market. It's you got freaking Texas, man. You got Houston, you got Dallas,
Sure.
you got beast all around you. What's the difference that you see that makes a dealership really go to that next level and attract the best talent?
And I'm just reiterating what a couple of other gentlemen said. It's about people. For me, it's people and processes, and going the extra step. And listen, sometimes deals make sense, sometimes they don't. But as long as you can create that in those people. Now, I think it was years ago where they said it was every customer's worth $100,000. I think it's improved to like $250 right now. So those ones that you look at it and you pass on it and you let them walk, at the end of the month, sometimes you wish you could have those all back. So, we keep it wide open. We love the experience. We've won the Excellence Award, which is a prestige award given out to 15 dealerships across the nation for Hyundai. We've won it 5 years straight. It's all about taking care of the customer. You got to take care of your customer. And it's just like anything, blocking and tackling. Keep your blocking and tackling. Keep it simple, and really listen to what the customer is looking at, and then adapt. I love the Red Sox, but if you look at the Patriots, who everyone hates, Belichick was a master. He looked, whether we're winning or losing, at halftime he'd make adjustments and plan accordingly.
I think everybody hates him because he wins, unless they live in Boston.
Yeah,
that's why I hate him.
Yeah,
I hate him because he beats my team. So, I mean,
Mr. Ziegler, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
It's his best day.
Villa, we got to talk about that haircut.
What? My haircut?
Villa's haircut or my haircut? I know you've commented on my facial hair before. It's all right. It's all right. You're clean shaven.
I see Villa's got a new haircut. I'm looking at it and going, huh? Yeah, did they make a mistake and try to correct it, or?
It's called that my hairline's receding. You know what I mean? It's called that it's moving.
It's called
back
his
a little
daughter is a hairdresser, so he gets free haircuts about every 3 days. Is what
it's not
called.
free.
It's free.
I put her through the best.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Through the best school around here in Florida.
Well, hey,
that wasn't free, buddy.
No problem. Get back to the business question. I'm sorry.
Here we had somebody on Twitter say, and I think they were doing. It's Patrick O'Brien. He said, when you're in stores, he said the tower is 100% controlled. I love you. Something like that. And then, but he said, what causes them to spin out of control?
What causes dealerships to spin out of control?
Well, he said when you're in the tower, you're at 100%. Yeah, so you could take that either. The tower, I'm sure that's what he referred to. Go ahead.
Well, see, I believe in the sales tower. The manufacturers have all but eliminated sales towers because they don't know how to sell cars. I mean, every time the manufacturers tried to sell cars, they failed miserably. But the truth of the matter is, I like a tower because it gives the manager peripheral vision of their entire inventory. You know, I've always said deals are blown outside the building, not inside the building. And we talk about hyper awareness. Why does the dealership spin out of control? It's because managers aren't aware of their business in real time. When I'm training management, the CRMs today don't even identify the customer until the write-up or the driver's license scan. They don't know when that customer arrived. And if a customer's got a 2-hour shelf life before they crash, and you know, we've got to be on top of that deal at every stage and stop that deal from bogging down. See, my theory is managers are in motion. Managers manage by walking around. They don't stay in the tower. They're like sharks. They never stop swimming. They're constantly out there watching their business. I bring the F&I managers out of their office too, by the way. I mean, an F&I manager is just a sales manager that specializes in finance. If they're not doing finance, they need to be in motion with the rest of the management, supervising the sales department. And it's a good question, but why do dealerships spin out of control? It's because people come and go and they get off their process. You know, you bring in people from other environments, other dealerships, and the process supersedes the individual. I was in a dealership not long ago, and some guy came up to me and said, "Mr. Ziegler, what do you see with how we did business where I came from?" I said, "Great, let's take a look." He said, "Look at this, how we desk deals, how we pencil deals." I said, "Man, that's pretty good. That might even be better than what I'm doing." He said, "Yeah, I thought you'd like it." I said, "Now, you realize we're not going to do that here." He said, "What?" He said, "You said it was good." I said, "Yeah, but this dealer spent over $100,000 having me put a process in here, and you're going to come in and confuse everybody. If we go to that process, and I might consider it, I might even teach it, but we're not going to do it right now, and you're not going to do it right now. You're not going to confuse the process we already have in place. If we vote on it and introduce it, it becomes part of the dealership culture. That will change the culture of the store. You know, see, most dealerships managed by superstar. They hire a superstar manager. Some bitch comes in with all of his buddies, and they shake up everything. And then the superstar leaves, and they bring in another superstar. You don't manage by superstar. You manage by process. And even when that superstar manager comes in, as much money as the dealer pays me, that superstar is going to do my process.
Right.
You know, the individual bends to the process. The process does not bend to the individual. And the individual's input is very valuable. But we will make a decision on whether we're going to do the changes that people want to bring with them. Because when the sales departments remain confused, and you know, Zig Ziglar was a good friend of mine. You know, he wasn't a relation, spelled his name differently, misspelled his name, but you know, Zig Ziglar, I knew him quite well, and he said a confused person buys nothing. A confused mind elects not to decide. And when you confuse your sales department, which most dealerships do, that's when you lose. My processes are absolute. Nobody is above the process.
Sure.
You know, I go to dealerships every day where they get that prima donna, spoiled brat salesperson. Well, damn, Jim, the guy sells 20 cars a month, but he doesn't behave. Fire his ass and get 4 that behave themselves and sell 5 and give him a bad reference before you put up with that. You know, these people poison the entire environment. Am I still on subject, or am I on a rant?
No, you're both. You know, and that's what this is. I mean, this is, hey, we don't really have a subject. The subject is, I think, you know, what the experts like you and the others on this panel are saying. And I want to, I know Tommy's got a question for Chris here, but before, so Chris, bear with me 1 second, just because Jim brought something up, I want to ask Marsh this, and let the couple of the guys that are there on the desk, Joe that's been there, and Mike, to answer this as well, because Jim, you brought this up. So going along the lines of a tower, you know, again, I'm been watching so much politics lately, man. That, you know, and I got to turn it off. But at night, that's what I watch. But doing this, you know, this word deal, right? The deal. We're talking about Trump. We're talking about all these things and working out deals, and it's just been the salesman in me that loves it. because I get it, right? So let's talk about that. Forget the intimidation of the tower, and forget that, Jim pointed out you can see it and you have the vision and so forth, and those are all there. But what about the fact, Marsh, that people, we talked about this on previous shows with TOs and with the Foursquare, and with some of the processes that people possibly didn't receive or get proper training on, so they've abandoned them. But isn't there something to be said? And I'm anxious to hear what Mike Palmer says as well, because they're a big store. I mean, isn't that what separates the good from the great, or the average from the good? Being able to really work out a deal. I mean, I know there's transparency today. I get it, but when you're there, you're still dealing with emotions and human beings. And is there something to be said for the deal, for the sale, for the ability to work a deal, Marsh?
It's the art.
The art.
It's the art, and that's my passion is and I've likened it to we all remember Bob Ross on PBS, and the white guy with the afro, and he started out with a blank canvas, and he had this little palette of paint and these brushes, and at the beginning of the show there's nothing on the canvas, and by the end of the show there's this whole picture, and while he's going, you don't know what he's painting. You don't know what he's doing, and he's got this melodramatic voice, and we're going to
happy little
dab
trees.
right here.
We're some happy trees here.
Yeah, happy trees.
Squirrels in his pocket.
Yeah, and so what's happening is, but you're like, okay, where's he going with this? And the next thing you know, it all comes to now you see it. And that's what we have to do as sales professionals. That's what we have to do as managers is, we have to, number one, I always say, out there on the lot, you have to paint with a roller. They're big, broad strokes, asking broad questions, and then once you get inside is when you get into the details. Then you change from a roller to a paintbrush, and then you really start adding the detail. That's what I love about this business. It's all art. It's art of the body language. It's art of the eye contact. It's art of trying to figure out and anticipate where they're going and being 2 steps ahead of them. It just intrigues me about this business.
It's good.
Mr. Chris Bennett. Hey, sorry I got we had bad intel. Would you set the record straight, please, of Chris, of where, what the company you represent, please?
Oh, I did represent a store up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I recently resigned for a lot about right now. So I'm out looking. Anybody interested? I'm out looking. I've been doing some writing, some different things like that.
Awesome. Okay, I'm glad we set the record straight. So I wanted to ask you kind of the same question I want to make sure we get our information accurate. So same question I asked Jim. Where do we lose it? And where do we lose it at the dealership level? Where is it missed within the tower when it's all said and done? Did you have any opinions that differed from Jim, or do you kind of concur with him?
I concur a lot with Jim, actually, on what he says or what he just said about that. I think a lot of it is, obviously it's accountability. Even in America in general and all different types of business, nobody wants to take have any accountability for anything or any mistake. But it comes from leadership. So I think that there's like a 2-part way. So if you don't have a proper leader, and I'm not saying somebody that just gives you the process, dictates it down to you, shows you what avenues you should go the whole 9 yards. It's something that has to just be reinstated. I think what a lot of trainers that come in, the problems that they run into is they come in high energy, high power, a lot of just good info. They're going to set their people up, whether it's sales or whether it's at the tower, and then they leave. So you get these enormous amount of sales, you get enormous amount of gross for that day or 2 days of the week, however long it is, and then they're gone, and there's nobody to stay following up with that. And I agree with Jim on one thing. I just started writing, like I said, and I just wrote this pretty big article about problems inside a dealership with whether it's a manager or if it's salespeople. If you have one person that's creating, and I hate to use the word, but it is a cancer, I personally have never cared. If they sell 30 cars and they're a problem, throw them out. Absolutely throw them out, because they're passing. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build the 8-car guy. Everybody says, we need to get our 8-car guys up, right? We need to keep our managers and processes in order. If the managers are chasing that bad guy and trying to stop him from doing things, saying things, he's not following the process, he thinks he knows everything the whole 9 yards, and then the salespeople are watching that need the help, they're distracted. and it causes probably the worst operations you probably ever could have inside a dealership. So cut the loss, move on, get somebody that's going to follow your processes, get somebody to actually go out and market themselves. And, I hope that we talk about marketing in 2016 within the dealership, because that's also a huge problem, because we're facing the biggest culture shock within the next 3 to 5 years now, and 3 to 5 years it's going to be changing in this business, and that's what we have to do.
Joe, let me ask you and Mike. I kind of start with you, Joe, and then Mike. I'll just when he's finished, if you just give your opinion on this. Going back to the tower, a couple of comments that came in here from two different points of view. We had one come in. I think it was from Tony. D said, what causes the tower to spin out of control? He said lack of discipline of the process. We kind of talked about that. And then I think it was Candace Crane that came back. I'm not sure if she was commenting on his tweet, but said, we need to create each salesperson needs to be able to create a unique customer experience. So she's almost like, and of course she does that in her own way. She kind of the salmon, just likes to swim against the grain, and that's what I love about her. But the deal is that Joe, going on that, do we need a process? Do we make too much of the process? Are there not enough dealers working the process? And then also, I want you to piggyback and talk about the importance of TO. And some people just abandon it altogether. Why? And does it need to come in earlier? At the front of the process? Does it need to come in at the end? Is it intimidating? I mean, talk about some of these things that there's a whole movement that I think is trying to remove some of these things from the industry, and I want to know what's behind that. Is it fear? Is it lack of understanding and training? Is it just ineffectiveness? I'm asking.
Laziness.
I will. I'm going to go back to Mr. Ziegler, and the word has been. We've probably already said it about 100 times. The process. You never want to get away from process. Every deal stands on its own. Every customer is different. Every salesperson has a different personality, as do the managers. When that process breaks down, whether it's the salesperson or the manager, or manager being lazy, not wanting to go out and appraise a car, not wanting to go do a TO, that's a problem. That's when deals just walk out the door. We ask our salespeople to follow the process for a reason. If our managers in that tower don't do that same thing, it's going to break down every single time. So that process is absolutely key, and we can't make too much of a process. Because when it's put in place and every single deal gets done that same way, It doesn't matter who your players are. You've got a roadmap. So if you take some junior guys you're trying to promote from within, here's your roadmap. This is what you want to do. And I agree with Mr. Ziegler. Get your managers up out of that tower. Get your F&I guys out early. Get them engaged in the deal. Our F&I profit is ridiculous because we're engaged early. We don't care whether the money's on the front end or the back end. As long as we're bringing money in, we're not gouging customers, but we're maximizing profit at every single opportunity. And in reference to doing a TO early, that also is something you have to evaluate with each and every customer. If you know you're battling a customer, let's just go right to the internet. If you got a tough internet customer that's coming in, you're going to TO early. If you've got some folks that have been on the lot and they're falling in love with a car, you're going to make a pass or two and see what you can get. And then after that, if we're still not making progress, you're going to go make that TO.
Chris, right before, I know you want to comment, but let me get Mike in real quick because it's been a minute since he said anything. And Mike, what's your stance on this and regarding what Joe and Jim were talking about?
Like I said, everyone says process. I'll agree. I'm very process driven. Sometimes the unity of the desk, all the managers need to be on the same page. They can't just be one guy that's doing the process, and then now you've got your salespeople running to the other guy because he thinks he's going to give him the deal, or won't make him do the appraisal, or won't make him get the payoff and stuff like that. I believe in the unity where everyone stands together and says, "Hey, this is how we're doing it." The voice, and we were talking about the art of the deal. It's how we articulate it. You look at some guys, and listen, I call us the San Antonio Spurs, and not to say that I'm ugly because I think I'm a good-looking guy, but I said, listen, we're the top 10. You look around. I said, how are we with the top 10 in the country? I said, listen to what we do, see where we can improve. I said, these processes, these things that we're doing, that we do as a team, where everyone can help out and everyone can look at the other guy and say, okay, this is where we're going. When everyone's on that same page, people can pick up. They talk about the TO2, the takeover. I hate the takeover because the takeover means that you're too late at that point in time. For me, we call it EMI. It's called early manager intervention or interaction. Off the rip, you're saying hello. You've got your floor manager that's involved. No one wants to kiss of death. Is hold on, let me go get my manager. No one wants that. So when we're in there early and we're steering it in the right direction, listen, I've had a lot of great guys, a lot of good finance guys, a lot of good desk guys that don't work for me. When you become too big for the dealership or too big for our process and the way of doing things, at that point in time, like in here, there's a prime example, 20 cars, get rid of him if he's not doing it and he's a cancer. Same thing with the manager. If you've got a good manager, you can be as good as they want, but if he's not willing to join our team and be in sync and in unity with that, that's quickly can cause this to spin out of control, and your dealership and your salespeople. And then all of a sudden, and you know how it is, everyone starts talking, oh, go to this guy, go to that guy. Whereas if everyone's on the same page and working together as a team, and everyone knows what we expect, and everyone's on board with that, and we all expect the same thing, that's where you build, and that's where you get that solid group where the turnover isn't high. Now all of a sudden you got your retention of your managers, the retention of your salespeople gets better and better, because the longer you're with someone, the better off it is.
Right. That's good.
So, Marsh, hey, I think Jim, you can correct me if this is incorrect. You say do the TO early and often, correct?
Well, even more than that, I want my managers to touch the customer before they're in combat.
Okay.
I want the managers out there touching every customer actively. Well, my managers are walking around, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback on this. Processes are everything, and managers. I was in a dealership not long ago in Chicago, and one of the managers said, well, this is not the way we like to do it. And I said, well, do you think your dealer hired me because he wants to keep doing that? You think I'm here because they don't want to change something?
Right.
It's not the way you like to do it, but we're going to change your process. Most dealers have got to get the testicular fortitude to make their managers do their own processes. If that makes sense.
Hey, Marsh, somebody asked this question, and I'll just go to you on this just now on Twitter. And said, "What do you do when you have a desk manager?" I think I know the answer to this question. When you have a desk manager that says he's too busy to implement your process. I mean, that's evidently a question that's being asked. I mean,
like too busy because they're busy selling cars. Too busy doing what?
Well, I don't know. I don't even have 140 characters, I guess, on Twitter, so I don't. I guess they didn't have time to ask. But they said the question came in and basically said, "What do you?" I mean, I know that. I guess ultimately you have to fire them. So I think that's the obvious. But maybe they're looking for, I don't know, maybe looking for an answer that could maybe help that person along. What do you do when you have a desk manager that says he's too busy to implement the process?
Well, number one, there's a reason why there's a GM. There's a reason why there's a GSM. And, as a GSM, what I have to do is I have to take the pulse not only of customers, but I also have to take the pulse of my staff. And so going in that tower, when you're working in the tower and desking deals and stuff like that, it's being able to have the maturity to say, okay, we're straying from the process itself. So as a GSM, number one, a salesperson should never even say that, because a GSM, you should snatch his chain right then and there. And we got to talk. And we're going to either get this straight, and we're going to make sure we're all on the same page, or we're going to go a different direction. So I love what Robert Kiyosaki said years ago. I was listening to him on a podcast, and he said there's a difference with the 5 best players and the best 5 players. And what's important as a dealership is you got to have the best 5 players. Because when you have the 5 best, then everybody's running around as individuals just trying to make a deal. But when you have the best 5, then what it is, it's a collective effort for the sake of the dealership, and also it's going to have proven results. What pisses salespeople off is there's too much inconsistency. So 1 minute as a sales manager, we're going, on Friday morning we're going to implement this, and then 3 days later, the whole rules have changed and we go back to normal again. And so if you're going to institute something, make sure you have 100% buy-in on that. Make sure we're all on the same page. Make sure we know why we're doing it too. You know, when I was playing college football, my offensive line coach, we not only knew what our assignments were, we knew what the receivers were doing and why. And so the reason why he instructed that is so that we knew exactly why we were doing what we were doing and why the other person was doing what they were doing. And we ended up playing almost getting to the national championship. So that's so important on a dealership perspective is being able as a GSM being able to catch that early and then making the necessary correction.
All right, open question. Whoever wants to raise their hand first can answer this one. There's a tweet came through. It said, "Oh, for the love of God, I missed it." What did it say?
It just said
I lost it.
With the person standing at the sales tower.
It's one of the biggest problems with the tower is that there's people standing around and being unproductive and doing nothing.
They don't have a deal. It says no no deal, get out. Chris, get your hand raised there.
How would it say hashtag no deal?
No deal, get out. Hashtag no deal, get out. Basically, you know. Loitering, I guess, at the tower would be a way to say it. You know, hanging out there. You know,
loitering.
I guess that comes down to leadership too, though. I mean, what do you think?
A little bit of trolling. Yeah, it comes. Listen, it comes. Every dealership has that problem. I mean, they can say they don't, but they do. I mean, the salesperson walks up and kind of starts to chit chat about the Sunday football game or this or that or whatever the case is. You know, but you know, we create this in this business, and I really hope that this starts to change. That, you know, it's a combative fight. I may have just made that word up, but it's a fight between the customer and the salesperson. Like, we're training our salespeople to have customers come in, like knowing that they're coming in, there's going to be a war, right? That we're going to have this. It's relationship selling, right? So early management intervention, or pre-TO as I used to call it, has always worked at every dealership that I've run. And you know, the grosses and the accolades we got from the dealerships is in our sales efficiency was a proven fact, right? So that's what it's going to start coming more and more with. So if someone's hanging out at the tower, okay, the manager needs to point them into how to market themselves. There's so many free platforms, and I'm going to not go on and on about it, but do they have their own social selling page on Facebook, right? Are they trying to get their own customers in? Take a half an hour out of every day and do something that's productive to bring people in. And that might not be part of the dealership's process, but that should be a part of every dealership's process, which is engaging customers without having to have the dealer principal spend money to bring it in.
Well, we're going to do something a little bit different here as we wrap up. Number one, Marsh just texted me. He had to jump off to take care of a deal. So Marsh is not with us. We have a few more minutes, and I know you guys are busy. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start with Joe Lyons, then we'll go Mike Palmer, and then we'll do Chris Bennett, and then we'll give Jim Ziegler the last word. What I'm going to let you guys do, because we have about, we literally have, 8 or 9 minutes. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes each to kind of leave our audience a closing thought with everything that we've been talking about, something that's kind of on your mind, on your heart, that you want to share to the dealers that are listening. We got tons of feedback on social media. Joe Lyons, out of everything you've heard, what do you want to leave the listeners with here? Just take a couple of minutes and give us your closing thoughts, sir. By the way, thank you for being with us, man.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. I'm going to get right back to it, like what I said before. Get a process if you don't have a process. Put it in place, train on it, and make it stick. Is it something that's etched in stone? Processes are made to change a little bit to go with a flow to better themselves. But stick to a process, make it happen. Just like everybody else has said, not one person is above it. Put that in play, your job is going to be made very, very easy. And love what you do.
Well said, Joe. Thank you, sir. Mike Palmer, thank you for being with us and great content. And if you're just go ahead and leave us with a couple of minutes of closing remarks.
Basically, for everyone who's here, and it's a very, very fun job. We get to meet people every single day, and we get to enjoy and find out how we can help them. There's a lot of competition out there. Prices are everywhere. So I don't go to my most favorite restaurant because they have the best steak in the world. I go there because of their service and how they treat me and the experience that I have there and how well their staff works. So when you look at that, and you have all these different models, and these super companies, Disney, very expensive. I've went there with my kids and spent an enormous amount of money, and I loved every second of it. So people will spend money for what they want. We need to pay attention to all of that, and that's what we'll put all together. It starts at the dealership. It starts with your processes. It starts with the people there, and when you can relate that and pick that up from your customers see that. People are people. There's no. If you read the book of sales or you read the book of anything, you can read it. And I have these guys, these product knowledge guys. They're called Pipe Copperheads. Everyone's heard of them. The one that can tell you everything about the vehicle. But he doesn't sell any cars. He's not a people person. This is a people person industry. And if we can pay attention to that, it'll open up doors in every aspect of your facility.
Well said, Mike. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
We have left on Jim.
Chris Bennett and Jim.
Chris, yeah, let's let Jim have the last word, and we'll go ahead, Chris, go ahead and wrap it up. Your final thoughts on everything, brother.
My final
Okay,
thought.
me or Chris?
No, let Jim. You're gonna wrap it up for us, brother. Chris is gonna go next.
Okay.
He's more important. He's wrapping it up.
He's a closer.
He's
closing it.
He's a closer. He's going to lock it up. Listen, you're an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneurship is up 150% year to date as of yesterday when I checked the statistics. Act as if you are an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to run. Since the show Shark Tank came out, that's all I hear from people is I want to create something. I want to do something. I want to be in control of myself. I want to do this. But the only thing your dealership should be asking you to do is follow the rules, the procedures, and follow the policy, right? Managers and salespeople right next to each other should be creating their own business to get people in. They should be acting like an entrepreneur. You should be pumped. Every day that you wake up, you should be pumped because there's an unlimited amount of money that you can make for that day, for that week, for that month. And you know what? Mr. Ziegler, he owns his own business. I'm sure he pays a lot of taxes in his business. Well, and he'll have a lot of overhead. You don't have to do that. So you don't have to buy the cars. You don't have to, we know this. We've said this to people. You don't have to buy the cars. You don't have to market the cars. You don't have to do this. I'm saying to take a half an hour out of your day, managers and salespeople, and invest it into yourself. Invest the time into yourself to build up your own customer base. This is 100% going to be relationship selling. It's probably 90% should be running at your dealership, 90% relationship selling. People will spend more and buy more from people that they like. We know it. That's a pure fact, and that's what I want to leave everybody with. Get ready and put your helmets on is what I say, because as this business is changing, that's how it's going to happen. People don't have time to get their plan and get the babysitters and get their both spouses to come in and buy a car. They don't walk into a dealership because they just want to hang out inside a dealership. They want to buy a car. They want to find the person that wants to sell them the car, that they believe, that says things with conviction. That's what this business is. That's what it's meant for. Stop the game. Stop the whining. Be an entrepreneur. Thank you.
Amen, brother. Mr. Jim Ziegler, take us home.
Take us home. I'll tell you, this has been a fun trip again. I'm looking at the state of the industry right now, and I see the wages going down. I see the money going down. There's a number of consultants out there telling dealers, well, you can do this, and you can get your compensation down in line 32 of the financial statement. And at the same time, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And if you're going to put quality people in front of the public, you're going to have to pay people. My theory, when I was in management and when I'm consulting these dealerships, is hire the best people and pay them too much. It's amazing because right now you had some fool on last week. I don't know who the ding dong was. It's going to take them and put the F&I departments to sleep. Oh, we're going to get rid of F&I. I don't know who this Looney Tunes goofball was, but let me tell you, you're not going to get rid of the F&I. How much legal protection does the F&I department give the dealership? How many school skills, specialized training do those people have to have? And you're going to take this transient sales force with these kids that haven't been in the real world that long, and you're going to train them to do F&I and to financially disclose your contracts, and quit it. There are so many idiots getting in our business today that don't know our business and don't understand our business, and they're gonna bring on the new wave. You know, I'm sorry. You know, there are some really great millennials out there. I'm looking at one right now. Yeah, there's a lot of great millennials, but yeah, there also is a high percentage living on mom's pull-out sofa in the basement, playing their Xbox all day. You know, and I'm confident that maybe it'll change. President Trump will take care of everything. Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I know you guys are all busy, and man, it's been a great show. A lot of comments and content on social media. So appreciate you guys being with us. Want to thank Marsh Bice, Chris Bennett, Jim Ziegler, Joe Lyons, and Mike Palmer. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good weekend.
Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Follow me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook.
All righty, guys.
Go to my F&I seminars. F&I, SamuraiFNI.com.
Yes. Follow everybody. We're going to tweet out. We'll tweet out all this stuff as well and put it up on Facebook. All the ways to get a hold of you guys as well. Thank you very much, guys.
I love you, Villa.
Hey, thank you,
Love
Jim.
you, Villa.
Love you too, brother. Thank you, guys.
Villa, I want my hat too. Thanks.
Yes.
I love you too, Tommy. Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I feel the love, you friggin' guys, you.
Thanks, guys.
I love the other guy, whatever his name is, the big hairy goon squad guy. Yeah, that guy's great. He's always good for a laugh.
Love you too, buddy.
All right, man.
Oh, thanks. I love you.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to be loved. Well, at the end of the day, we just want to be loved. That's
so
all.
let's read some things here. The beard and blazer, killing it. That's from Jake Carter.
Beard
there.
and blazer. That's actually
You're not
sharp.
wearing a blazer, and I'm not wearing a beard. Oh, yeah, I'm got a beard.
But yeah, but
I got a
you
beard.
know what
But
he
it's
meant.
not, yeah, he needs the beard.
That's pretty sharp.
Like, mine's just kind of like
Me and
skin.
Arnold were going back and
Hold
forth.
on, Candace, let's read a couple of them real quick, T. So you sell value and experience. It's actually selling. I can't read it. It went away too fast. There was Candace. Candace was like, I saw her kind of come through my my tablet here. Her face was like pressing through, trying to get attention. She was besmirching. Heck,
Here's a great way to stop fighting with the customer. Eliminate negotiating. What was watch what happens to your customer experience. Booyah.
What happens to it?
I don't know. She said watch.
She said
so I
watch.
guess you have to watch. Stay tuned.
So, hey, man, it's been a great show, T.
I'm a little annoyed with some of the Twitter chatter.
Oh, yeah?
Arnold got
Why
me
is that?
heated up again.
Yeah, he's got under your skin there.
Yeah, I got under his a little bit, too. So
By the way,
in
Steve,
fairness,
I did
it
catch
worked out
that
both.
on the tweet following. We missed the question that he asked that, kind of was almost like obvious, firing him, was what do you do, with the desk manager that refuses to, says I'm too busy to work the process. But I did read back before you said that, and I saw in quotes, successful desk manager. So basically saying the guy's good at what he does, the girl's good at what she does, they're killing it, but they're too busy to work the process.
What I thought. That's what I thought he meant too. Because
So you got a you got a little bit of a
balancing.
situation on your hand. You're like, what do I do?
Well, I think you know what,
and I think that's a tough one there, man. It's easy for someone that's an armchair quarterback to go just blow the person out, but I mean, if that's the case, I would have blew you out a long time. Because no, I'm just kidding. Because you make a lot of money, you do very well, but you kind of,
what I do.
7 years you've been here. You're like a couch.
You're like a stool. 5 more minutes in the place, you'd be a stool.
He's like a rock.
What did I say?
I said you're like a rock.
You're not on like I'm like
Candace,
a rock. I'm like a rock. Thank
Candace
you.
said they only want to negotiate because they believe they have to. That's a good future show to talk about and get Candace all hot and bothered on it. Christian, thank you, man. The team and I listening to Auto Dealer Live. That's Christian Salazar. I want to thank you guys for listening. And hey, listen, it's because of you guys that we look forward to doing this show every week. And
Tommy, you do have a fan, Alexandria Howard at Phone Ninja Alex, killing it like always. Tell him what's up, Tommy.
Amen. See, hey.
Boom.
We got one fan.
Learn something
That's all I
today.
need.
EMI.
That's all I need to keep me going. It's like in golf. You hit that one good shot, you're coming back next time.
Hey, we got to go right now, but before we do,
What?
what's EMI stand for? We learned it today. I know what it stands for. EMI, not TO, but EMI.
Oh, early management intervention.
Boom.
Booyah. That's actually
EMI.
good. We should probably implement some EMI stuff. We do sometimes anyway. We didn't have a name
Dave
for it.
Sabowski, most salespeople have trouble selling the vehicle. Now finance. Next joke, please.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Noel Walsh,
Them's
walking into the
fighting words.
dealership. Noel said, walk into the dealership as a salesperson with the mentality it's your own business. Well said, Noel. Thanks, Joe Lyons. Joe, if you pay peanuts, you'll get monkeys. Patrick O'Brien.
Yeah, that was quote of the show right there.
And again, congratulations to Curtis Snidus.
Yeah.
He's Snidus now.
Hey, actually, and did you see his wife?
His wife.
He took a picture of his wife. She gave him. She said she was giving like the thumbs up to be on her.
Wow.
So amen. Hey, brother.
She knocked
bless
the
you and
ER
your
off his
baby.
name and put an S on it. It's Snidus now. She's like, I will slap the ER out your face.
So that's cool. He's
Kevin Campbell, entrepreneur. This is to Chris Bennett. He said entrepreneurship up 152%. He said 72% of quotes are said to be pulled out of thin air or out your arse. Not true or tur. I think you meant true, Candace. They're going too fast. Hey, listen, you read them for yourself. Listen, Hashtag Auto Dealer Live. Comment on Facebook. We are done, and we'll see you next week. Next week, we have another amazing
What's the
show.
next show? Do we know? We don't have a name for it yet.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise show. That's
It's a
right.
surprise.
It's,
You don't
it's
wanna
mystery
miss
box show. Ooh, tune in to see.
In June, we're going to be at Women in Automotive. In August, we're going to be in Vegas at Digital Dealer. Great stuff. Ted Hip, absolutely too many salespeople hanging around desk. Always a problem. We got to go, or we're going to still read these here. All right.
Yeah, let's go. All right, we'll see you next week. God bless you. Good night.